Cowboys here before me. I played for 12 years, and they're here after me. I was just a speck on the sideline. Having worked in the front office as well was interesting too, because I worked with Denny Green, who took Bill Walsh's philosophy.
Yeah.
And he used to always like to mess with the back end of the roster. And I never forget the first thing he said to the team in the auditorium that one day. He said, "There's three things that's important to me: my faith, my family, and the game of football. In that order: faith, family, football." He said, "Basically, what I'm telling you is, you better put your family ahead of me, because I'm gonna put my family ahead of you."
It's Denny Green.
Denny Green, and I was like, it don't get no realer than that.
Right.
He just told you that you just kind of hear, and he never needed a quote unquote strong first round quarterback. He was like, "I just need you to drive the bus."
Because he never had, and he never had one either.
He never had one. He never needed one.
Culpepper.
Joe Montana wasn't no great quarterback. He ran the system and became great.
He drove the bus.
He drove the bus.
Before we go any further, can you introduce yourself and the guests you have today?
I'm sorry. I'm 41 Sports Talk Radio, 4radionetwork.com. I got Larry Mallory with me with the Giants. Okay, don't hate. But I got Rod Newhouse, Robert Newhouse's son, with me also. They don't. I'm in the middle because they don't like each other.
Well, but there is respect. You don't have to. You don't have to like a man to respect a man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So Larry, you was talking about Brian. Des Bryant.
Right.
And you're thinking that there are two teams that's on the list right now: New Orleans and Green Bay. What's the best place for him to go?
Well, I think any place that Dez goes, he's going to add value as an athlete. I think he's an exceptional athlete. I think that, he's a good receiver on and on. But I think that nowadays, your performance has to align with your salary. And I don't think his performance has aligned to his salary. His reputation has. And so when you go to nowadays with millennials, even with quarterbacks, in the old days, quarterbacks made the most money. But if you're a quarterback and you don't become a leader in the locker room, then a millennial will come up and say, "Well, give me the money."
I got it. I know. Dak Prescott.
Exactly. So nowadays, the money aligns to your impact on the team, your leadership in the locker room, and I think if you look at football now, it's very much not about the individual. It's almost moving back to old school football when his father was playing and I was playing. It's more about the team and not about the individual, because you cannot win, even though he's a great offensive player, but you got a good defense, you have to have a team, and you have to have a good locker room.
Defense wins championships, right?
Defense wins championships.
But when you was playing, who's your quarterback?
Joe Pisarcik was my quarterback.
Yeah. When you was playing, that play with Herman Edwards.
Oh, right. Right, with Larry Zonka end up fumbling. Yeah. That made him. No, I don't want to talk about that. Herman makes money, so I want him to keep making money.
Okay, Rod, you talk a lot about how financially how these athletes spend money and not spend money. Okay, talk to us about when you become an athlete, when you actually get that check. Talk to us about when they think they got $3 million, they don't.
That's always an eye-opener for everybody. The young men always look at how many cars they want to buy, what house they want to buy for themselves, and what they want to do for their mom and their family, until they realize what all these other numbers come out: your federal taxes, your state taxes, your NFL union dues, your 401k, and their mouths are just like, what's going on? I thought I had a lot of money.
Broke?
And so they quickly start to realize that the money that they thought they had for the first time in their life, it kind of impacts them in a way that they never thought possible.
So how do you impact those first year players as far as what they feel like they're gonna get and what they really have? What is the biggest impact you feel like you get?
It's what I call an artful science. You have to delicately walk them into the glass, because just like you and I, we learn by experience. And players are very stubborn, they're very hard-headed, they're very alpha. and they need to figure things out themselves. But if you kind of help mold them, shape them, and guide them to walk into the glass, they usually figure it out. And another thing I really say too is I talk with a lot of these guys to try to get a mentor, try to get guys like Mr. Mallory, other performers, other players who played, because I think we will all tell you this: if we were owed some type of $10,000 from the league or NFLPA or whatever that they owe us in the future, every last one of us would give it up if we got one guy that we knew would listen to us. We'd give it away, we'd burn it up. If we had one guy that would just listen and we could shape and mold, it's not about the money, it's about passing the information back down. And I've had guys like Mr. Mallory, my father, other players who that generation ahead of me to kick that knowledge down. So I feel that it's very beneficial that I kick that down to the next person too, so we can keep it going.
Okay. So Larry, coming back to you. You're over the NFL.
I like what he just said. And that's another generation. So,
Yeah.
That says that, that was great information. Passing things down is how generations and how ethnicities strengthen themselves. That's how we stay strong. So I really enjoyed what he just said.
That's why you hang out. Okay, so as an older generation, you've seen a lot of things that's going on. So your salary wasn't that great. While you was playing. Okay, what do you look at these players that whose salaries are just great and they still do nothing with what they have? That's where I money.
I hear you saying do nothing. I think it's very difficult to say that they do nothing with their money. I don't think that they might not have the knowledge, the financial knowledge, and that's why we need people like Rod. Their expertise is in athletics. It just happened not to be. And to be quite frank, in the amateur world right now, where they're making a whole bunch of money off of athletes, even in our college system, they're developing athletes and not developing their intellectual skills, but developing their athletic skills. So when they come out now, colleges are producing athletes, and we need people like Rod Newhouse and the things that he does financially to give them that side of exposure. You got coaches in colleges not even letting kids go to class as much anymore because they're practicing
Don't
like
worry
pros.
about class.
Thank you. They practicing like pros. The coach is making $7 million, but if they give their jersey to somebody for $35, they get thrown out of school.
Yeah.
You follow me? So they're not producing accountants. That's what we're trying to do as former players. Let people know that you got to, when you're in college there, I don't care if the coach tell you got to go to practice, you better take your book with you.
Yeah, you better.
Because everybody ain't going to make it. Less than 1% of the people in the world make this league, right? And so if you don't have another option other than athletics, right? Even if you make athletics and you don't have someone in your life like Rod Newhouse and the services he provides and the financial education that's required when someone goes from living in the communities that we came out of to making $3.5 million or getting bonuses for $1 million. We don't even know how many zeros that. You know what I mean? We haven't seen that before.
I don't know
so it's about exposure. These guys are not kids just throwing their money away. If you had never seen a blue shirt, right, and you wore red shirts all your life, and all of a sudden you saw a blue shirt, you wonder, wow, let me try the blue shirt.
Yeah.
I'd like to follow up on that real quick by saying I had dinner recently with a couple young men that were in high school, and one of them said he wanted to, when he got his money, he was going to put it in things that made him money. So we said, oh, okay, well, what are those things that make you money? He said, like restaurants, and it was like, that was the first thing out of his mouth. And restaurants have a 5% success rate.
They ain't making you money.
And he said, real estate, and I said, okay, real estate, interesting. I said, all right, so tell me, young man, what's a pro forma? He said, huh? And I said, see, you don't understand the verbiage and the lingo over there. You understand, he was a defensive tackle. I said, you understand 5 technique, you understand wide 9, you understand ET, you understand all that stuff, but you don't understand the basics of asset allocation and pro formas and capitalization rates. And those are the things that I think Mr. Mallory's trying to talk about. We got to have that stuff kicked into us. And he's right, it's not that they don't do nothing, they just don't know how to do what they should do and are very untrusting of many people. And then all of a sudden, somebody fast talks them, and then it's like, it's gone.
Okay, so tell us about your company.
I run a company called 44 Management, wealth management services for professional athletes, high net worth individuals, and anybody looking to be educated. So that's what we do, provide those services, and love what we do.
All right, Larry? NFL Players Association president. Tell us about what you do.
Well, we represent, as the union for the National Football League, we represent every player that's ever played, that's ever signed a contract to go into a training camp. As former players, and that's both active and former players, as the union part of this business, it's called the National Football League, as the former player part, I believe that our responsibility is to improve the lives and the conditions of former players, to help in the transition of active players into a life that ultimately they will have to have. Mm-hmm. There's been no football player in the history of the world that's ever played all their life.
Right.
and so the NFLPA former player chapters in all 32 cities and more should be there and be available to anybody that's coming into a market that wants to get a job, that has a child that's trying to get to school, that has any health conditions, and especially with the health conditions, because a number of our players are going through some of the same elements and issues that some of the military guys from PTSD have. We just finished a movie with the military called Operation Torrent, where Josh Collins is going to paddle from Portsmouth, Washington to Ketchikan, Alaska. We've been supporting the NFL Players Association and Union has been supporting homeless veterans for years now. We're doing a Del Frisco's program where we're taking veterans off the street and giving them jobs in the kitchen starting at $40,000 a year. We support the police. So there's a lot of things that's happening nationally that people feel that NFL former and active players are not doing, but because the information, and we appreciate getting this kind of visibility out, because what Colin Kaepernick did and the things that the active players are doing is nothing, it's only relating to the challenges in our community. We love the military, we support the military, we support the police, we support law and order. In fact, discipline and law and order is a part of being a professional athlete. So those are things that we try to align to. And hence, you asked me what I do, but the last thing is the extra point, which is the Guinness Book of World Records is trying to find out if I'm the only African American holder of field goals and extra points. Either the first one or in the history of the league. So we've started this show highlighting the positive aspects of professional athletes. We don't talk about the negative stuff because that's all of the. That's
right,
all
because everybody's gonna talk about
everybody gonna talk about it. But we talk about the positive, the impact of Robert on his son, the impact of Cliff Odom's son and Chris Jones' son going into the league, the charities and the foundations that people never hear about, that professional athletes, especially in the DFW market, are doing each and every day. And that's why we appreciate 411 Sports, because you provided the kind of visibility to allow us to bring this to the forefront.
Well, I'm going to ask you this question here. You was the ambassador of the, I'm trying to figure out the African Americans. When we met,
I was the president. George Bush appointed me to the Trade Advisory Committee on Africa. I spent 15 years in foreign countries managing U.S. businesses, and the appointment was because when I came back here, I ran a division for Proline International, and we were the largest. We won the small to medium-sized business of the year for exported businesses. So I got that appointment, and I've been helping children in Africa now for the last 10 years.
So y'all know why I got him on. I just want to put that out there.
I appreciate that.
This has been 411 Sports Talk Radio, ForeignRadioNetwork.com. We number one, we enjoy your company. You bowling, right?
Don't put me on the spot.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
We're going to do our best.
All right. So we're going to bowl. We're going to do City Man Cook. I cook every once in a while. Larry?
I'll definitely be there. You know, he might not say it, but he's competitive, so he's going to.
I know he is. He's his daddy's son, right?
That's right. He's competitive.
All right. You've been watching 411 Sports Talk Radio, ForeignRadioNetwork.com. We will see you later. All right, I'm sitting here with Terry Allen, City Man Cook. What you got going on this week? Or next month?
I was just hanging out recruiting cooks. We got them knocking on the door, women knocking on the door. We're going to make sure we have enough men to showcase their recipes. So we're still here looking for men who know how to throw down in the kitchen for City Men Cook on Father's Day. at Gillies from 3 to 6 p.m.
So what's the best recipe? I mean, you go around and taste, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
So what's one of the best ones?
Yours, of course, right?
Yeah. No,
like
they
a
don't have to be
page.
mine.
Well, now some of the things I've seen them doing, they're doing chicken wings in special ways, special sauces. There's desserts, there's ice cream, there's beans. Women line up for all of the things that we do there. So I want all the men who are watching this to go to citymencook.com and sign up to be one of those men who can throw down in the kitchen and be at the event. And for you ladies who haven't had someone cook for you in quite a bit,
Yes, I'm good.
this is the place to be. It's the largest Sunday dinner in North Texas on June 17th.
So do you cook?
Yeah, I have a cookbook.
Okay, now give them the start time.
All right, we start at 3 p.m. and we end at 6. So as soon as you leave church, instead of going to all of those other restaurants you go to, come down to the largest Sunday dinner in Texas. And that way you get more food than you need. And it's an all-you-can-eat indoor beat the heat event at Gillies, downtown Dallas.
Is Wick gonna cook?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, he's good cook.
I can't boil water.
So,
All right, we talking to Terry Allen. We're gonna put this on our Facebook and everything.
cool. And make sure you hit up the page for those women who buy a ticket this weekend. You'll be getting an extra gift bag from Miss Jessie's. If you buy a ticket at citymencook.com this weekend.
All right, make sure you go to citymencook.com. We'll be out cooking. I'm thinking about cooking.
Oh, I know. We want to bring you back. Your recipe was very popular.
No, I'm thinking about
Your
it.
food went fast. So looking forward to seeing you there. And remember, it's on Father's Day, so you can bring your dad, your family, and also it's indoors, so you don't have to worry about the Texas heat at all. So we're going to be inside. There'll be food, entertainment. There'll be all kinds of door prizes. It's a bunch of games and a whole lot of vendors as well.
All right, City Men Cook. This has been Forum Sports Talk Radio. I'll let you.
Good job, sir.